I don't know if you've been paying attention, if you've seen this, but this is going to make you laugh. Grab your popcorn, grab a pop if you got one. So it appears that now Anna Kasparian is agreeing with Jimmy Dore. But you don't have to believe me. Let's watch it for yourself. So I have a clip here. There's two parts of this I want to show from TYT. And there's another clip that I want to show you after this that Joe created. He's really good at making these videos, and he shares them on Twitter. He's like awesome with this, where he actually compares what Jimmy Dore is saying to what Anna Kasparian is saying. So first and foremost, it starts with this story, obviously, right? So it goes back to Roe v. Wade. Anna and John talked about this on TYT, and they had some things. Well, Anna had some things to say about the Democratic Party. So here we are back at this again. Remember last time she went on that rant and said the Democrats are useless and yada, yada. And then she came back and tried to say she was talking about the Republicans. Well, she's at it again. And this time she sounds a lot like Jimmy Dore, who she says is right wing. Listen to this. Do-do-do.
And then the Democratic Party just points to them and says, wouldn't it be terrible if they were in office? Now, like, imagine what if we had one party that actually cared about what your life was like and cared that your wages keep losing out against inflation more and more so every year. Like, how easy would it be to beat that?
They don't care about you. Let's just be very clear. They don't care about you. They don't care, and not just you, John, all of us. The Democratic Party, the mainstream Democratic Party today gave us a massive middle finger, okay? With Joe Biden, and Francesca will talk about this on the show later in I believe the second hour. But Joe Biden's speech today was, man, this really sucks. You should really elect more of us so this doesn't happen. You guys are in charge. What are you talking about? Nancy Pelosi sending out the fundraising emails immediately. What a gift. What a gift to the Democratic Party. Time to fundraise. What an awesome issue that we can campaign on, fundraise on, and then do absolutely nothing about. And by the way, speaking of Nancy Pelosi, I'd like to share the double middle finger that she gave the American people today by reading a poem from a member of the Israeli military. Let's watch.
From time to time, I quote this poem by Ehud Manor. He's an Israeli poet. I met his wife when I've been in Israel. He says,
like, none of us care. Like, I'm sorry, in reference to what Nancy's saying here, like, we don't care. We don't care about your poem. We don't care about any of that. And again, I agree with what Anna said, but the thing is coming from Anna Kasparian, who criticizes and smears other people who say the exact same thing that she just said. It gets worse, though. We're going to skip over Nancy's. We do not want to hear your poem. Your poem's pathetic. Talk about not being able to read the room. There we go.
John, clearly she hopes that the Supreme Court will open its eyes. Clearly she hopes. A useless, pathetic shell of a woman, step down immediately. You are not fit to lead anything. You are not fit to fight. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, including the rest of Democratic leadership, needs to step the hell down. I mean, they're holding on to power, will not let it go, and the country is suffering as a result of that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pathetic.
There's a concept in the parliamentary system of vote of no confidence. There's the idea, and more importantly than the mechanism, there is the idea that there should be accountability. That if you fail, even like in one important thing, even if you've been doing stuff that your party likes for a few years, and there's one big thing that you have to get done and you fail, you might step down. Like, no, she should just be in charge for years and years and years and years. Doesn't matter if anything gets done.
We're skipping over John. And we're gonna fast forward back to Anna here. All right.
Yeah, and just to back up a little bit, I just want to remind everyone that back in 2009, when President Barack Obama had a super majority in Congress and had the ability to pass a federal law protecting women's reproductive rights, he literally said that it wasn't the top priority. It wasn't a priority, okay? Because he would rather capitulate to the Republican Party with the hope that they would help him pass his Heritage Foundation written Affordable Care Act.
But it did work though, Anna, right? I mean, at least like it was a rough bargain, but in the end they helped.
But it's interesting to see how the establishment Democrats are trying to rewrite history and feed us this revisionist garbage about why Obama didn't do it. Now, Obama didn't do it because he was capitulating to the right wing. Make no mistake about it. But what they're trying to tell us now is no.
And why would Obama try to do that with the right wing? Why is the Democratic Party, why are the Democrat politicians in DC trying to please the Republican Party in DC? Why are they trying to work with them, cross over the aisle? Why are they trying to get them on their side? Why are they so for, let's try to do bipartisanship? Because it's two wings of the same bird. Because both parties look out for corporate interest, not people interest. There's no money in helping the people. Say it. Say that, Anna. Bring up the money. Talk about how the money controls all of it. She goes on.
No, the reason why Obama didn't do it is because he couldn't do it. Yeah, he had a super majority in Congress, but there were blue dog Democrats who were standing in the way. And then you have Nancy Pelosi, fast forward to today, after reading the leaked reversal of Roe v. Wade. Okay, this is before the official reversal happened. After that leak, she decides to campaign for a right-wing Democrat who, for the most part, voted along with Donald Trump when he was in power, and that's Henry Cuellar.
Yeah.
When she could have endorsed his progressive primary challenger, Jessica Cisneros. And who knows?
Again, why would she do that, Anna? Why would she do that? Because they don't really care about the people. She's going to back establishment. The parties are controlled. That's why the parties are controlled by Wall Street. They are going to back the establishment candidates. They are not going to back these candidates that are progressives that are trying to change the very system that is in place that they all seem to love. They're not going to back them. Shama Sawan said this last night when she was on, and she had a good point. You're asking people to run into the Democratic Party, to run through the Democratic Party. And you're asking those people to break up the system that they have now joined and expect not to be targeted, not to be harassed, not to be bullied, not to be threatened, and for them to think that the other Democrats there with them are going to help them. No, they're going to do everything that they can to get rid of them. It is a fool's errand. She's right. Now she say all this, Anna's going to say all this, but she's still telling you, but vote for them. But vote for the Democrats.
Maybe that endorsement would have made all the difference because that was a close race.
It was.
But make no mistake, we know what the Republican Party is about. And sometimes people get mad because they feel like I'm a little too harsh toward Democrats. I should focus more of my energy toward Republicans. Listen.
That is definitely a Jimmy Dore talking point. She got that from Jimmy Dore. Some people say I'm too hard on the Democrats and I should focus more on the Republicans. Bullshit. Nobody's saying that to her. Really? Have you seen TYT? Have you? We should take a look at their video. I'm going to show you in just a second. Let's get through this. And then we'll look at their channel and I'll show you what they're talking about. Because last time I checked, all I saw was Republican content. That's a Jimmy Dore talking point that she just used. And I'm not here to try to defend Jimmy or anything, but she's saying the exact thing.
Guys, I tell you that the Republican Party is trash every day. I don't know what more I can do. If you don't believe me, if you don't believe I'm being sincere there, okay, that's on you. But the Republican Party tells us who they are. They tell us what they plan to do. They give us endless warnings about what they're gonna do. But the Democrats, they lie to us.
Yeah.
They fundraise off issues we care about. They purport to care about the same issues. They claim they're gonna fight for those same issues. And when push comes to shove, all they give us is kente cloths and poems. I'm not interested. This party is an absolute failure. They failed the American people. And I'm done with the performative politics. I'm done with like the incredibly shallow culture war narratives. I want fighters. Because this isn't just about like, let's have a friendly debate about policy. They are rolling back our rights. And if you think it stops at reproductive rights, you're sadly mistaken. They're coming for gay marriage. They're coming for contraception. In fact, Clarence Thomas made that abundantly clear in his decision. He wrote a separate decision that concurs with the conservative justices, but goes even further. He wants to roll back all of those other constitutional rights that have been granted to people in the gay community, that have been granted to married couples. He wants to allow states to regulate what kind of sex you're engaging in, okay? He wants to uphold anti-sodomy laws. These people are creeps, okay? Here's what non-creeps don't do, okay? Non-creeps don't sit around thinking about anal sex among other people who are in relationships. I don't think about other people having anal sex. Conservative justices, along with the right-wing movement in this country, they can't stop thinking about anal sex. It's on the mind all the time. So much so that Clarence Thomas wants to regulate whether you have anal sex, how you have anal sex. Super creepy stuff, super creepy. Sounds like the Supreme Court has a few groomers in it. One final thing I'll say is, don't waste your money by giving it to members of the Democratic Party. They're gonna be fundraising off of this. They're gonna exploit this tragic moment for their own political purposes, and they don't deserve that funding in their campaign coffers. They have abandoned the American people.
Doesn't Jimmy say that? Don't we say that over to RBN? Haven't we been telling you for over a year, don't donate to them, don't give them any money? Haven't we been telling you that? That's what we've been saying, right? I wanna let you know when we made those statements that people like Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, that whole TYT crowd, they attacked us and said we were bad faith actors. They said we were secret right wingers. They smeared us. We were way ahead of them. We predicted what was going to happen to Nina Turner before it happened. We called it out. We were told that we were being mean. What? Because we're telling you the truth? You want someone to sugarcoat a story for you to make you feel better, to make your heart feel like it's in the right place? That's not what you're going to get here. You're not going to get that from us. So we were ahead of them. Jimmy was ahead of them. All those people that said Jimmy was wrong for calling the squad frauds, you still feel that way now? She's late. That was a terrible place for me to pause this video. She's late. But again, question, all the people who smeared us as right wing for saying the exact same thing, are you going to call Anna a right winger now too? You going to smear her for saying the same things that we've been saying at RBN? Is she right wing? Is she now part of the dumb left? CJ brought up something last night, or not last night, the other day. I forget, maybe it was Thursday or Friday. CJ mentioned something that made a lot of sense. If you listen to Chris Hedges, if you listen to Shama Sawant, they're saying a lot of the same things that we say. Can't do it through the two-party system. Need to get out of the duopoly. It's not going to work. They have no problem, especially Chris Hedges, telling people that Biden is corrupt, that Bernie didn't do it the right way, that he, same things. But you never hear those same people call Chris Hedges the dumb left. You don't. Why? He's an academic. They only have a problem with it with us saying it. You know why? Oh, they're a group of black people, group of working class black people. They're not professors. What do they know? They're not politicians. They didn't run through any campaigns. They didn't run an election. They didn't work in DC with these corrupt politicians. They're just a group of black people, working class black people. They don't know what they're talking about. That's why. Don't do any research. Don't know that Nick and Rome canvassed for Bernie Sanders. Don't know that Rome has been in Bernie Sanders ads before. Don't know that I was an academic advisor, that I worked in higher ed for over 10 years. That yes, I have a bachelor's and a master's degree. Just because I don't come on here and brag about it every show doesn't mean it's not there. That's the difference. They don't want to hear from us. This is a class divide. They want to hear from the academic elite people. That's who they want to hear it from. So Anna is late. I think she's trying to get ratings or bumps for TYT because they're sinking. I can see it with TubeBuddy, you guys. They're sinking. Yes, they may be getting those views, but in terms of like people actually watching them, the analytics tell me otherwise. Let me let her finish and I'm gonna show you that video.
Only look out for themselves. The only time you ever see a corporate Democrat fight is if they're fighting progressive members of their own party. Other than that, they're useless. So look into organizations that actually want to fight. Look into organizations that are providing safe abortion access to women in red states, whether it's by covering their travel expenses or whatever it is that they do to help make this situation a little easier for women who are gonna really bear the brunt of this.
Isn't that what we've been saying? Haven't we been telling you to focus on the organizations and organize within your own community and help the people in your community and forget this two-party game? Anna Kasparian, Cenk Uygur, that TYT group, they said we were bad faith actors for telling you what was very much so apparent.
The Supreme Court decision today. But wasting your money by giving it to the corporate Democrats right now is just it's not the way to go. At some point, we have to change course and realize these people do not care about us.
At some point, we have to change course and realize that these people do not care about us. Now, Joe, I like Joe. Joe makes cool videos and he puts them on Twitter. He does mashup videos. I don't know how he does this. I'm not good with video editing. I'll just be honest with you. It's not something I'm good at. He made one of Jimmy Dore and Anna Kasparian. So he said Anna Kasparian versus Jimmy Dore. Get out of here. I'm laughing because I already know I've seen this already. Anna Kasparian versus Jimmy Dore. Shout out to Joe. Follow him on Twitter, you guys, and you'll see other videos like this as well. Thank you, Joe. So let's see how much Anna is actually agreeing with Jimmy Dore. So here we go.
They don't care about you. Let's just be very clear. They don't care about you. They don't care, and not just you, John, all of us.
They don't care about you. Adam Schiff doesn't care about you at all.
The Democratic Party, the mainstream Democratic Party today gave us a massive middle finger. okay?
I feel better.
Someone made a joke. Go ahead.
I feel better when I see
I feel
those,
better. Doesn't it
right?
make you feel better?
Yeah.
They're going to fuck you, but they're going to put lube on while they do it.
But Joe Biden's speech today was, man, this really sucks. You should really elect more of us so this doesn't happen. You guys are in charge. What are you talking about?
Vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Nancy Pelosi sending out the fundraising emails immediately. What a gift. What a gift to the Democratic Party. Time to fundraise. What an awesome issue that we can campaign on.
So the Democrats don't want to codify abortion. Why? So they can run on it.
Fundraise on.
Until people tell you to stop donating to them, they're just bullshitting you.
And then do absolutely nothing about it. You are not fit to lead anything. You are not fit to fight. You couldn't fight your way out of a wet paper bag.
Just calm down. We're going to have a very different way.
And sometimes people get mad because they feel like I'm a little too harsh toward Democrats. I should focus more of my energy toward Republicans. Listen, guys, I tell you that the Republican Party is trash every day. I don't know what more I can do.
I don't criticize Democrats because I favor Republicans. I criticize Democrats because they favor Republicans.
The Democratic Party has quickly morphed into the Republican Party substantively.
The Democrats are now Republicans, and this isn't hyperbole.
It's so important to support Nina Turner.
Like a whore.
Have you ever even told people to stop donating to them? No.
Wasting your money by giving it to the corporate Democrats right now is just not the way to go.
This is a desperate attempt to try to get that audience back. Sorry, your audience already left you. Everyone already sees through you. And for the people who haven't, I'm going to keep educating them on the piece of it that you are.
When it comes to bread and butter issues, that's really that different from the Republican Party.
They just sent $40 billion to Ukraine aid.
Because, oh, look at the wonderful bipartisan way in which Congress has allocated billions of dollars in military spending for Ukraine. Isn't it so wonderful? Yeah, it's because they have the same defense contractor donors, you idiots. That's why.
We decided to send that money to Raytheon and Boeing and Booz Allen. And so now you know what's going on. Now you know who the Democratic Party and the Republican Party really serve.
I don't want anyone
to give Jimmy Dore credit for beating us to this 18 months earlier.
They think the hoes will learn now. The hoes be knowing, okay? The hoes be knowing.
That sounds like violence.
So enjoy that. The hoes be knowing. And when push comes to shove, the hoes be knowing.
He's done it again! That is a fact! You fucking little bastard! He's done it again! You dirty bastard! You've done it again!
Again, shout out to Joe. Joe, you're awesome. You're doing great work. Follow Joe on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, this is obvious, right? This is obvious. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? So Shama Swan and I talked about that last night. I think I'm going to do a call in probably Thursday, because I want you, again, if you haven't seen the interview, watch the interview first before you listen to the call in that I'm going to do Thursday, because she explained how they do it with Socialist Alternative. And she explains the difference between someone wanting to run and be a politician versus selecting people that are the right people to do it. They have a whole different strategy, and that's something that we should be looking at. You should have the candidates come out of the movement, not choose someone who's already a politician and then have them adopt language from a movement, i.e. Bernie Sanders, adopting language from the Occupy movement and running it into a campaign through the Democratic Party. That's what we've been doing. What we need to do is we need to shift, and I've said this before, you need to put more focus on local politics instead of who can we get into the House? Who can we get into the Senate? We need to focus more on the local level, and you need to get people that are already a part of these organizations and get them to run, not someone who wants to be a politician, because then they get involved with the celebrity of it, like AOC, etc. And they can't run through the two-party system. So I'm just going to go ahead and say this here. I've heard names mentioned about people who I haven't heard any of them announce that they're running for 2024, but there are some names that have been mentioned, right? So I'm just going to go ahead on record and say this here. Whether I know you or not, whether we're buds, pals, comrades, I am not supporting any candidate running for president, running for Congress, that's running as a Democrat or Republican. I am not supporting them. They're not getting my money. They're not getting my applause and my cheers. So I'm putting that out here so people know, regardless if I know them or not, if they are running as a Democrat or as a Republican, I am not issuing any type of support for them. That is not where I'm headed. I think we've learned from this experiment gone wild that was Justice Democrats, and I think it's time to do something else. I think we need to move away from Bernie Sanders. I think we need to move away from Justice Democrats. They've been co-opted. They're corrupt. They're taking billionaire money. I think we need to move away from that strategy. And I think we need to take a serious look at what Shama Sawant and Socialist Alternative are doing. I think we need to think about what Case Study QB talked about, marrying mutual aid and candidacy. So that way there's a mutual aid organization. The candidate comes out of the organization. So even if the candidate loses, the people still get something. They still get the mutual aid. That is what we need. So I'm going to say this one more time. I am not supporting any candidate, whether I know them or not, running as a Democrat or Republican. Not doing it.